And well, Middle East, of course, is in the center of world's attention. And RIA Novosti and many other media outlets reported that Hamas and Israel agreed to the truce. According to media, there are some other reports that Hamas did not yet officially confirm that they are agree on this truce, but hopefully, we will see some de-escalation in this area. So the Palestinian report itself is that Palestinian movement Hamas and Israel have agreed to conclude the 60-day truce in Gaza Strip. Al Arabiya TV channel reports, citing sources, Hamas and Israel have agreed to truce, according to a statement of that source. This media outlet also reports that U.S. Special Envoy for Middle East, Steve Witkoff, was notified of the parties' agreement to a ceasefire, and there are many media outlets are calling this, calling this achievement, if sides really will agree on a truce, calling this achievement of Witkoff, because he was engaged in talks with both sides, and if peace will be achieved, or truce will be achieved, of course, we can count that as another success on behalf of Witkoff and his diplomatic work. He is definitely one of the very few members of Trump's administration that can be seen as somewhat successful in his position. I wouldn't say anything like that about any other official of public, at least highly public officials of Trump's administration. Meanwhile, Iran, of course, Iran's nuclear program is also in a center of attention. And we have this report from TASS news agency that Iran's foreign minister denies their nuclear deal with the US is close. Earlier, some media outlets, based on some sources, I mean, this is a standard nowadays, isn't it? That all the media outlets are referring to some sources, and we just never know. Do they really have source, or they just are, lying about it? But that's the reality that we are dealing with, isn't it? So, number of media outlets, Western media outlets, based on their sources, reported that their sides, US and Iran, are kind of close to achieve some deal. And the foreign minister of Iran went to say that this is not really the truth. So Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi said their country is still far. Countries, US and Iran, are still far from concluding a deal that would settle differences over their Iranian nuclear program. Media is speculating about an imminent Iran-US deal. Not sure if we are there yet. Abbas Araghchi stated, although at least formally talks continue between the sides. And what is also interesting, yesterday, number of sources, including Axios, reported that Gulf leaders reportedly convinced Trump not to strike Iran and consider a deal. So Saudi Arabia, UAE, and their other Gulf states opposed nuclear deal in 2015, but now they are among the most enthusiastic supporters of the diplomacy, which is understandable, by the way. They know perfectly well that if US and Israel and number of their allies will attack Iran, that will kill navigation straight away in the Persian Gulf and through Hormuz Strait, which means that these Gulf countries will be basically isolated, right? They would not be able to sell their resources, oil and gas, and that would be a huge hit on these countries. Nothing to be said about deterioration and even potentially huge escalation in relationships between these Arab Gulf countries and Iran, if regional war is provoked and if Iran is attacked, because obviously US and its allies, Israel and so on, will try to use their leverage over these countries to force them to allow these forces, military forces of U.S. and anti-Iranian coalition to use at least airspace of these Gulf countries and the military bases there to conduct strikes on Iran. And Iran already said that they will retaliate on any country that will assist in any way, shape, or form any attack on the country, right? So it is absolutely understandable that Gulf Arab states are opposing now escalation with Iran, and are trying to persuade Washington to prioritize peace. But I'm afraid the influence that Gulf states have is not comparable with the influence that Israel or Israeli lobby has in Washington, right? So therefore, if you ask me, I would tell you that 99%, in my personal opinion, it's only a matter of time, and U.S. And Israel and a number of other countries will attack Iran. It seems inevitable in my reading of the big picture. And I explain reasoning behind it, by the way. Some might think that U.S. will attack Iran because of their Israeli lobby, which is true. That is one reason. But I think there is a much bigger play in this regards, because globalists and neocons, by the way, are united in their hatred of China, right? Globalists and neocons are united in their hatred towards China, and they know, and at least that's what their plan is, if I'm reading big picture correctly, that they want to provoke regional war in the Middle East and shut down navigation through Persian Gulf and the Hormuz Strait, because they want to strike China's economy big time. And they will manage to do so because China is one of the main importers of energy from Middle East. That's what it is, dear friends. And that's why I think and this strategy of globalists and neocons goes even further than that. Eventually, what they want is to China to become extremely dependent on Russia. China is already dependent in some sense from energy supplies from Russia. But if Middle East is cut off then from China, then obviously Chinese dependence on Russian energy will become tremendous, right? It will reach strategical level, even higher than that, if there is anything higher than that. And I think globalists want this to happen, globalists and neocons, because their hope is that at some point they will manage to create some tensions between Russia and China, and they will force China to go offensive, to escalate with Russia, basically, including militarily. That's what their hope is, and they will, in their dreams, neutralize two main competitors on a global scale, on a geopolitical scale, China and Russia. That's their game plan, by the way. That's the game plan of globalists, right? And the neocons. And that's why I'm saying that 99%, in my personal opinion, it's not a matter of if, but it's matter of when US and Israel and other countries from anti-Iranian coalition will attack Iran. And Tehran knows this, by the way. Officials in Iran know this, seems like quite well, and are preparing for such development. And for example, I shared yesterday on my Telegram and Twitter X page this news yesterday, that Iran commander fires the biggest threat yet to potential enemies. He said, our fighters are on the trigger. We assume we will be engaged in a great battle with a great power. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Major General Salami stated. So they know, they are saying it openly, that even though talks are taking place and Tehran really tries and wants to de-escalate, right, with US and with the rest of their collective West countries. They know perfectly well that the US is just playing the games. US is or Trump's administration is not an honest actor in this negotiation. They are just gaining time, right? And if Iran's diplomats are diplomatic in their statements, then well, leadership of Iran's military and security services have no obligation to be diplomatic, and they are saying it openly that they believe they will be engaged in a great battle with a great power, and their fingers are on the trigger. So unfortunately, most likely, regional war is inevitable in the Middle East for reasons that at least partially I did explain just a minute ago. Hello everyone, I hope you find informative and useful this short clip from main news update, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. It might help to deal with the algorithm and reach wider audience. And if you like my work in general and want to support to save this media project, you can assist through several ways. You can donate to this project through PayPal platform or Boosty, also with the crypto currencies, or you can subscribe to my Patreon page and page on Boosty, where I have quite a lot of extra content on regular basis. All the links are on this video in description box and in the pinned comment. And of course, many thanks to everyone who already helped and continues to support. Thank you.